and tall, hands in our lap, voices up. Thank you. Here's what we're doing in our music video today. Mid-Academy scholars will be able to sing and move to Down, Down, Baby, discover our rhythm of the day, discover and sing Solfege. Alright, so we're going to do Down, Down, Baby. Just like our Warrior Cry last time. We haven't done it in a while, so we're just going to jump right in, see what we remember, test our brains, test our memories. We do it 3 times through. First time, largo speed, slow walking speed, which is andante, and presto, allegro presto, skipping, kind of running speed. So everybody stand up. Make sure you're in a comfortable place, got comfortable shoes on. We're going to do jumping and crossing our feet. Just do your very best if you don't remember. So we start with largo, tap, tap. This is the beat. Here we go. Down, down, baby, down by the roller coaster, sweet, sweet baby, I don't wanna let you go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy round. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, break down. 2 big kids sitting on a fence, trying to make $1 out of 65 cents. She missed, she missed, she missed like this. She missed, she missed, she missed like this. Wow, that felt really slow. Okay, we're gonna bump it up and do it at andante speed. It's about the speed as you walk. One really great trick to know what the tempo is of a song is always start with andante, and I move my feet about as fast as I would normally walk. And if it kind of matches up with that, that's probably andante. If it's slower than that, something like largo or maybe grave, really slow. If it's faster than I would normally walk, then it might be andante, or sorry, allegro, or presto, or prestissimo, or prestissimo. All right, so let's get walking speed. Tap, tap. This is our beat. Ready? Here we go. Down, down, baby, down by the roller coaster, sweet, sweet baby, I don't wanna let you go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy round. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, break down. 2 big kids sitting on a fence, trying to make $1 out of 65 cents. She missed, she missed, she missed like this. She missed, she missed, she missed like this. All right, we're gonna do it one more time. This time we're gonna bump it up to like allegro, maybe presto, skipping, running speed. It's gonna go pretty quick. So let's try. Last time, you make a mistake, make it big. Here is our beat. Tap, 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 tap. Here we go. Down, down, baby, down by the roller coaster, sweet, sweet baby, I don't wanna let you go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy round. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, break down. 2 big kids sitting on a fence, trying to make $1 out of 65 cents. She missed, she missed, she missed like this. She missed, she missed, she missed like this. All right, you can relax, have a seat, lay back down if you're lying down, get comfy. The next thing that we're going to do is our rhythm of the day. All right, let's see how we do. We're going to do it a little bit different today, in a way that some of us might find challenging, because it changes how we've talked about some things so far. A little bit. Okay, so here's our rhythm. Here's that new one that we just started talking about. And the old guys. My lines are not even. That's good. All right. So there we have our rhythm of the day. So if you need to pause the video and just process and think through what are each of these sounds worth, that would be wonderful and great and fine. Otherwise, let's see what we got. These are called 16th notes. Each vertical line makes its own sound, each of which is worth 1/4 of a beat. Okay. The same is true of this one. Each vertical line makes its own sound, each of which is worth 1/4 or 1/4 of one beat. And then we have our 8th notes. Each vertical line makes its own sound, each of which is worth 1/2 a beat. And then at the end we have that lonely little quarter note, which is worth 1 full beat. The way that we're going to change it a little bit today is I just want to talk about where the beats are. We've talked before about how this is the downbeat, first beat of the measure, and the upbeat is the last beat of the measure. But let's just do some real quick math. So I love adding fractions. I remember when I was in 5th grade, my teacher, Mr. Swenson, used to say, I love adding fractions. I think they are so fun. And we thought, oh, Mr. Swenson, you're kind of weird. But when you add fractions together, you add the numerator and put it on top of the denominator if the denominator is in fact all the same. So since we have 4 on the bottom of all the denominators, the 4 will stay the same, and then we add the numerators. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. So 4 out of 4, 4/4, is equal to 1 whole. So that's saying that this group of 4 individual 16th notes is worth 1 whole beat. The same is true of this. We would have 4/4. If we added those all together, that would equal 1 whole. If I look at this one, the denominator is the same, so it stays the same. And then I would add the numerators together. 1 plus 1 is 2. If you haven't learned about fractions yet, you will get there, don't worry. And 2/2 is equal to 1 beat, and a quarter note on its own is equal to 1 beat. So, oftentimes in music, and we've talked about time signatures before, we are making music in what's called 4/4 time. So we can start to break this down, and instead of just saying this is the downbeat and this is the upbeat, we can now say that this is beat 1, this is beat 2, this is beat 3, and this is beat 4. Because this makes 1 beat all on its own, this makes 1 beat all on its own, this makes a beat, and our little quarter note makes a beat. Okay? We divide each of these beats up a little bit when it comes to our 16th and 8th notes, but combined they all do make a beat. Tika 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 ta, tika 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 ta. It all fits within 4 beats. Tika 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 ta, tika 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 ta. Now there is a different way of counting rhythms once we get into middle school that I'm just going to introduce to you, and it might be a little confusing to start, okay? So if you don't get it, don't stress out. We can still do the quarter, 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 half, half, 1. That works just fine. When you have, we're going to start with the 8th notes because it's a little bit easier. When you have the 8th notes and you divide a single beat in half, you call the first half of that beat the number of the beat it lands on, so in this case it would be 3. And the second half, we call that and. And I'm just going to put a little plus for and for now, okay? 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is how I would count the last 2 beats of this measure. Now, if you look at these 16th notes, the and wouldn't fall on the very second quarter, the very second fourth. It would instead fall, and this is where it gets a little bit confusing, on the third. Because it's kind of like this is an 8th note, like that, and this is an 8th note. I know that can be very confusing. So the first and the third sound in a group of 16th note is called and. Okay? So we'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But because we have 16th notes, we have extra sounds in between. Okay? In a group of 16th notes, that second sound is called E, like the letter E. And the last sound is called like the letter A. 1 E and is how we would count that. And that is very confusing. But the reason they do that is because it's a little bit easier to say 1 E and than quarter, 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 which can get jumbled up in your mouth a little bit. So if I were to tap this out, I could do quarter, 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 half, half, 1. Quarter, 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 half, half, 1. Or if I use my new counting system, 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. That makes it a lot easier if I start to up my tempo. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4. We're not going to be doing our rhythm of the day much longer. Very soon we're going to switch to our solfege exercise of the day. But every now and then we'll come back to our rhythms of the day and do one just every now and then, and we'll probably talk about how we would count it in this new way. That's our rhythm of the day. That took a while. Okay, the last thing that we're going to talk about is solfege. So I'm thinking back to in our last video we did a humming exercise, and we talked about how when we are first learning a song, sometimes it is helpful for vocalists to forget about the words of a song and instead sing what's called, or instead, in the instance of last time, instead hum, forget about the words. And then another way that more professional vocalists do is called solfege. I have a great example of solfege that some of you might know. I'm just going to put this up here on my screen. Do, a deer, a female deer, Re, a drop of golden sun, Mi, a name I call myself, Fa, a long, long way to run, Sol, a needle pulling thread, La, a note to follow, Sol, Ti, a drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to Do, 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 Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. That is from a musical called The Sound of Music. That, when people hear about solfege, that is what I would say 99% of the people will think of, is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So we're going to talk about it today, and then we're going to do a few very quick examples so that later on, after we've moved on from our rhythm of the day stuff, and we transition to our solfege exercise of the day, you'll have a basis for comparison. Now, this is something I usually teach with elementary academy scholars. We start learning this in about end of 2nd grade and then transition to 3rd and 4th grade with it. But because I have not been able to teach you in the past, this I'm assuming is new to most of us. Okay? So let me just double check in the right order. I think I am. Okay, so each syllable, each sound we make in solfege also has a hand sign, and when we're back in person you'll see these signs hanging up in the music room. So the first one is do, and when we have do we just make a fist. So you can do that with me. Do. Next one is re, which is a little bit higher. Do, re. Next one, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. Next is fa, do, re, mi, fa. Sol, do, re, mi, fa, sol. Next is la, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Next is ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And last, do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so those are all the different, not all of them, but the big syllables in solfege. And here's how we're going to use them. Every now and then I'm going to sing a melody to you, and we're going to use them doing solfege instead of using words to a song. I'm gonna grab my whiteboard real quick. Okay, so here's how a singer, a vocalist, might use this. We talked before about how in music we have what's called a scale. So I'm just gonna draw a staff, 5 lines, 4 spaces. Pardon me if my lines are a little bit crooked. And I'm going to do what's called a C scale. The treble clef. C is there. And I'm doing this just so I don't have to draw something called accidentals. Okay, so there's my C scale. When I do my C scale, we always call this do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And notice how there's 2 do's. There's a do here and a do here. We can call this low do and high do. And that's because on a musical staff, this is the note C. You think back to when we did our secret word of the day. And this is also C, F-A-C-E when it's on the staff. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There's a lot of great ways that musicians use this. If I were to learn this new song, do, do, sol, sol, la, la, sol, fa, fa, mi, mi, re, re, do. I could sing, for example, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star like I just did. But if that song was new to me, or maybe a more challenging song, and I didn't know the words, that might help me to learn the pitches a little bit better. It is extremely helpful, especially when we're learning songs in different languages. I can think of when I was in college and I sang a song called, what was it, Lo da di ro go la bro che tanto a dir non ha, lo no di ro do la bro, lo no di lo do la bro che tanto a dir non ha, che tanto a dir non ha. Loco di rodo labro che tanto a dir non ha, which is a song in Italian. I do not speak Italian, but when I first tried to learn that song for my vocal class, the first thing that we did is we broke it down into solfege syllables, because they said learning Italian is not your strong point, Mrs. Isles. So let's learn the pitches first, let's learn the melody, and then we'll work on pronunciation. So here's how we're going to use this in music class. As we do our rhythm, our solfege exercises, I'm going to sing some kind of pattern, and your job is to copy me, mimic me. And your number one goal when we do solfege is to pitch match. So if I sing do, re, mi, your voice will sound like do, re, mi. If your voice sounds like do, re, mi, you're not singing the same pitches as me, and we need to hone that down and really use our ears. It's called aural skills, A-U-R-A-L, aural skills, to really start to pitch match, okay? So let's just do a couple really simple ones to start. We're just gonna start with do, re, mi, your turn. Do, re, mi. I think it helps to do the hand signs too. You don't have to, I think it helps. Let's do a couple more. Mi, re, do, mi, re, do. Another one. Do, mi, sol. Your turn. Do, mi, sol. Sol, fa, mi. Sol, fa, mi. Mi, re, do. Mi, re, do. Okay, so that's using solfege. We're going to work on that a little bit more. Just a way of replacing words in a song with syllables, and it's a way to really work on our pitch matching. All right, that's all we have for today. The last thing we have to do is to just do our train exit. So breathe with me, Middle Academy. Here we go. Thank you for joining me for music today. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.